So Joy, are you our favorite lastborn?
Yes.
And what is your name?
Joy.
Okay.
What's one of our family values?
Listen and obey the first time.
Listen.
And
Obey
the?
first time.
Okay. And we serve each other in?
Kindness.
And?
Joyfulness.
Joyful.
What's your favorite thing to do together as a family?
Watch a movie.
Is it?
Let me go karting.
Go-karting. Okay, baby. Love you.
Love you.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Welcome to Shoots and Roots, a practical video series that explores the joys and challenges of raising diverse kids through the different seasons of their lives.
I'm thinking of these Shoots and Roots videos, and I always think of how practical often the times you guys make it. In this article, it spoke about, they gave a frightening statistic. It said that 80% of parents today got chores, or 80% of parents back in the day got chores, but only of those 80%, only 30% pass on the chores to their children. And Johan, you talked about chores. So how do you guys make it practical in your home around chores? 6 children, I can imagine there's lots of dishes, there's lots of plants to be pruned, and
Oh dear, you don't trust.
practical.
You can't trust all of our kids with sharp implements. But what we do is allowances in our family is as a result of participating in the family. So if you are able to do some chores, or it's as rudimentary at grade 1 stage of packing your own lunch. For us, it's foreign when a 6-year-old says, make me a sami, because there's the bread, there's the butter, make yourself a sami, you know? It's messy. The first time they make their first sami, there is peanut butter and butter everywhere. But they make it and they eat their own sami the next day. They complain about it sometimes because most of the spread got on the table. But then, as soon as they can do that, they get a reward. They get their allowance. They've earned their keep. Some of our kids are now part of Grace, for instance. At 17, she takes care of them sometimes when we go out. And there's more of a reward there for her. She earns a bit more. So just like she would get bucks when she goes to babysit for others, she gets bucks when she babysits for us. But she then takes care of her own toiletries. She buys some of her own face wash and hair products. And so it's so funny to see the last two now that's so close. Iris is 7 and Joy is 6. How they were chomping at the bit to start to make their own lunches, because then they know they get allowances. Now, we're not a family of huge means, so they get very little. They can spend it in one go at a tuck shop, you know? But they are so proud when they have earned that, and they will remind you, I have done my lunch. The difficulty is in the heart of a father. Sometimes I make one lunch, bro. But my heart just breaks not to still give them the allowance, you know? But the intent was there to participate as a contributing part of the family. And not just a spoiled part of the family. So we always eat around the table must be cleared. When Mom and I have cooked, we're not going to do that also. Dishwasher, I love packing a dishwasher, but I hate unpacking it. So guess what? Their duty is the packing. On a Saturday, the boys wake up. 3 out of 4 Saturdays, they work with me on something, you know, it's part of it. And the girls, and actually all of them, learn to cook with us.
Yeah, all our kids have learned to cook with us. And I think also if you approach it like that, it's not that you're just teaching them to be part of a family and a family unit, and this is how we do things in our family, but you are teaching them that in society, that is how things work. You can't walk into a job and not do your job properly and then expect to be paid for it, kind of thing. You know, there's going to be trouble at some point. But I also think in family, we need to, like for some things, there's yes, there's allowance for that, but for other things, surely we do that because we love one another. And you know, at the root of it, it needs to be that there's a deep love for one another. When the chips are down, when it's someone's birthday, we serve them. You know, it's their day. So yeah, I think it's that balance of always rooted in love, and sometimes it's just because we really love one another, not because I'm going to get anything out of it. And Jesus served like that.
And then sometimes it is our job as parents to discern where our kids are. And you can easily pick up when the child's just pushing the boundaries and taking a chance, wanting to exert their dominance over you, because there are some of those personalities. And that doesn't mean giving in to them and just giving them what they want, because then you will invariably breed a culture of entitlement. That is a cry to say, I don't know much about my personality. I know that I want to be in charge, but I have no clue how to be reasonable in it, responsible in it, accountable in it, or even how to be kind and generous in it. And then to rise up as a parent and say, this is my task. I'm supposed to raise you for what God has in store for you. And I'm going to teach you. You are a great leader. But right now, in leadership, there's submission. Let's do this. And just because you are the leader doesn't mean you get to be served. You need to serve. So we hold each other accountable on that. Elise will sometimes say, hey, I think you let that one slide. And then I'll sometimes say, you started that conversation, you better go and finish it.
And when you have so many kids,
it's tough.
there's a lot of conversations to be had.
And sometimes it is exhausting.
Yeah.
And sometimes we tag each other in, so there is team. But to know that you take it serious before God. At the dedications, we often say, we dedicate ourselves to raise a child in the purposes of God and in the design of God. And then one of the not so funny things, but people do tend to laugh about it, is we as witnesses to you being dedicated as a parent and the child being dedicated to the Lord, we will stand and hold you to account that you're not raising a brat. And then people chuckle about that, but actually it's a serious responsibility. Will you step up to your friends and say, yo, in all love, it was tough when your child acted like that, and I think maybe you should try a different approach, you know? You're touching on some sacred cows there if you do that, you know? But maybe that gives credibility and credence to that adage of it takes a village to raise a child. And what are you raising the child into? A little mini god, a demigod, or a functioning, contributing part of society, and a person who is secure and found in their purpose and their design from God.
I think just listening to you, this is so good. And I think there's nice content for the next Roots and Shoots. Something that I believe you guys do really well is how you let your kids express their emotion. So I think that's a nice topic for the next one. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks,
So
Ruben.